There's a secret world hidden in the smoke of a fine cigar, a world defined by the thrill of pursuit, where collectors chase the rare and the exceptional, driven not only by possession, but by the hunt itself. Here, legends are pursued, boxes immortalized in cigar lore, so scarce their appearance is as rare as the cigars themselves. They're the lost Rembrandts of tobacco, the vintage champagnes of the leaf, unicorns that can take years, even a lifetime, to track down and acquire. I've long admired this world from the sidelines, captivated by its discipline, its mystery, and its thrill. But the time for watching is over. At Dominique London, one of the world's most prestigious tobacco retailers, their online auction house specializes in cigars of exceptional value. There, some of the most rare and celebrated boxes surface again to the delight and excitement of serious collectors and connoisseurs. Yet just like fine wine and art, counterfeit and cigars of questionable condition lurk in the shadows. With hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line with every auction, every box is subject to unparalleled scrutiny. Provenance, age, condition, authenticity. Every detail is dissected before a box is allowed to enter Dominique London's auction. And in this new series, I step into the arena, consigning treasures from my own private collection. For the first time, I'll enter the arena and stand shoulder to shoulder with the world's most ardent collectors, bidding, selling, and pursuing legends that may never surface again. We step behind the curtain to gain rare insight, and most excitingly, we stand side by side with Dominique Giselle Inc. as these extraordinary cigars go under the hammer. Like many collectors, I keep some of my favorite cigars in humidors around the world. Today, 3 boxes of vintage Cuban cigars from my personal humidor in the Monte Carlo Cigar Club are making their way to London for inspection. These are some of my most treasured pieces, rare, aged, and carefully stored, but even with my experience, there's always a risk. At Dominique London, every cigar entered into their prestigious auction must pass a rigorous inspection and authentication process. Provenance, age, and condition are examined with painstaking care. No detail is too small, and nothing is taken at face value. Will my cigars meet these exacting standards? Could I have unknowingly bought counterfeit cigars, adding them to my collection? Every wrapper, every band, every seal will be scrutinized. The journey from my humidor to the auction floor isn't just a delivery, it's a test. And the question looms, will these cigars soar under the hammer, or will they crumble under the weight of scrutiny? Dominique, Dante, it's a pleasure.
Likewise.
And it's great to be reunited. I mean, Monte Carlo, Monaco was incredible, and
now London.
And now London. I think that Monaco is quickly becoming my favorite place on earth, but London, of course,
I do understand
being my home away from home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got some exciting things today, so I picked a few things up from my locker. Was able to acquire a friend's collection out of Paris, pretty significant collection, and I'd like to consider putting these up for auction. Maybe investing in some new cigars, right? Maybe of my kind of vintage.
Good idea.
But I know that, of course, the auction space is important, especially whenever it comes to vintage cigars. And so Dominique London, of course, has one of the most well-established auctions out there. Talk to me a little bit about that process and why, in choosing an auction, it's important to choose one that has experience in these types of things.
I think we started all over with those auctions the first December 2009.
Yes.
Okay.
And of course, we have the name and we have the experiments of the good cigars. And cigars who come into an auction, they are vintage cigars. And already they are very rare and special. So, Dante take care of it?
Yeah.
Maybe you can explain a little bit?
So anyone from all over the UK can just come to one of our London stores and they can produce vintage cigars that they've found from their grandfathers or Stuff that they just literally just pulled out of nowhere and are wondering if it's worth any type of value, specifically old cigars,
Yeah.
old boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes through us, but then it goes through our executive cigar specialist,
Yeah.
Louise, as well.
And there's other online auctions, but Dominique London, of course, is specializing in not the ordinary and the rare,
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before there was Christie's who did those auctions, but they stopped with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good for us that we take it over,
Yeah.
in fact, because we have the specialists in the house,
Mm-hmm.
so we know the history of the cigars. We know, for example, a Dunhill cigar was made until 1991, I think, and then they stopped
Yeah.
to do the collaboration with Cuba. So
Mhm.
all those cigars before that date, they are very valuable because there is not so many, and of course it's very special and it's rare.
Definitely. Yeah.
There's also a lot of counterfeits. I mean, just like with wine, you know, where you have something that's highly valuable, you have people trying to counterfeit, and then you know, this I would imagine is complicated even further by the fact that, you know, a lot of the box designs and the labels, I mean, weren't particularly well documented.
Oh no, 100%.
But we have a team with eagle eyes, and we
Okay.
see everything.
Exactly. So I mean, the team themselves, they have a history of inspecting these cigars for a very long time, and the collections that we also have as a company can act as a way for us to verify and actually compare certain cigars. But these are the things that most people don't have, that only this company would possess. Yeah.
And absolutely, and I would imagine that as a buyer, you know, if you're investing in a highly valuable box or humidor of vintage cigars, again, the provenance of those cigars, but also the guarantee that they're authentic is part of what would bring someone to Dominique London.
And also that they were kept well, because a cigar who was dry and then humid again and dry, it's like an old lady's skin. It starts to wrinkle.
Okay. And how long have you been doing the auctions now?
We will have 60.
I think 60.
60 auctions because we do it 4 times in a year.
Yeah, 4 to 5 times a year.
Yeah, depending what's coming in.
Exactly.
And how many lots per auction?
Maybe 500 to 1,000 lots.
Okay.
It's always very, very busy.
But depending on the year as well, at the end of the year,
the time
you
of the
usually
year,
get exactly.
summertime is maybe a little bit less than because people are on holiday and not thinking about
Christmas
it.
time though, because it's the gifting period, that's when we see an uptick.
You know, the types of lots that you see here at Dominique London's online cigar auctions, help me understand kind of the types of cigars that one would see come across the auction that really make this auction unique.
It is definitely a variety, because you're looking at different types of boxes from different origin points. It doesn't all come from the UK market. It could come from multiple markets across the world. And you're looking at people who have either had familial connections that allowed them to come across these cigars, or literally they could just be someone just refurbishing a house and just came across a very old box of cigars that they don't know what to do with, but because they're able to just do a little bit of research and they thought that this was the best place to kind of put them through, they find out a bit more about it.
But are we talking about current production, regionals, and limited editions, or exclusively vintage?
It could be anything.
Okay.
Genuinely.
But most of all, the cigars who comes in are from the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah, so truly vintage cigars.
They are really
sometimes
vintage
even
cigars.
pre-embargo. I mean, cigars dating back 100 years even.
And what's an example of a highly valuable, truly exceptional lot that you've seen come through?
I believe it was the 1994 Habanos Humidor. I think it went for around £69,000 hammer price.
So we're talking significant, you know, lots here, right? Yeah. The rarest of the rare.
Sometimes have things in the basement or in the cellar that they don't know what's they have gold in their hands and then
But also just collectors that are looking to you know, maybe invest in something new.
Definitely. I mean, post-COVID, we saw a lot more people coming in with more vintage cigars, more older cigars, cigars that dated back from early 2000s, but they were very valuable now. Just because of that huge increase.
And interest and demand.
Genuinely.
Is it purely a domestic auction? I mean, UK sellers and UK buyers, or is it global?
Oh, it's very much global.
Okay. Yeah. And then can someone submit their cigars without coming in person? I mean, I have this privilege. I take every opportunity to come to London, especially with my cigars. But I mean, if someone isn't traveling to London, can they reach out and submit?
Of course.
You know?
Yes, they definitely can.
Okay.
They're always welcome.
And help me understand the magnitude. I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, how big of a market is vintage cigar auctions?
It's huge, huh?
Yeah.
And depending the period of the year, of course, it's 5 to 6 million pounds a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And how many lots are we talking about?
So I mean, we're talking around like 3,000 lots a year.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's significant. And are these exclusively Cuban cigars?
Definitely. Yeah.
The most collectible.
Yeah,
Exactly.
of course.
You know. I mean, one of the things that I love about Cuban cigars and Cuban cigar culture is that connoisseurship. I mean, there is an incredible passion of collecting, of holding, of aging. And I would imagine that, the things that you see in the auction, I mean, all of these boxes and humidors, I would imagine, have sentimental value, but also stories attached to them.
Yeah, they could
Definitely.
speak.
Yeah.
If they could, that's right.
Yeah,
They
that would be
tell
nice.
stories.
Tell
Definitely.
stories,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, fascinating. Well, I'd love to show you my boxes and see
Fantastic.
what you think.
Yeah,
I'm a
that's
little
good.
nervous. I selected 3 kind of interesting boxes that I'd like to kind of try out.
Okay.
And so I'm fascinated to see kind of what you think, because these are boxes that I'd never seen before. So here we go. So this is an El Rey del Mundo. Again,
That was the
Panatella.
crème de la crème before 1966. That Cohiba came on the market. That was in fact
Really?
the top.
The Cohiba
Yeah.
before Cohiba.
That was the Cohiba before Cohiba.
And then tying into our
Good one.
Winston Churchill series, a box of Sir Winston's,
Mm.
and a beautifully varnished box. I mean, this is
Yeah.
one of those legendary cigars that few people see, much less smoke.
Mhm.
And then something a little bit more, maybe mainstream, but speaks to provenance, are these Punch Royal
Punch,
Selections. A lot of them have unbroken seals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Were never opened. So how does the initial kind of intake happen? I mean, are you being presented cigars that where you will look at them and say, okay, this probably
Fake
isn't
cigars.
something that's right for us?
So I mean, the first line of defense is usually us when they submit the cigar lots
Okay.
into the shops.
Okay.
But then after we're able to kind of process them, go through the whole kind of like logistics aspect of it, it goes straight to our cigar executive, Louise,
Okay.
who then double checks them and also consults with other people
Okay.
that are really, really.
And so that's the enhanced authentication process. Is
Exactly.
this would be kind of the first line. Are we
I
interested?
smell already the good
fragrances,
tobacco.
yeah,
You
definitely, I
smell it. I smell it directly. They're definitely vintage. I smell it. I have a nose for that.
So from what I understand, I mean, these El Rey del Mundos, they were definitely around 60s to 70s.
Okay. What's the
Yeah.
box code on this?
The
Is
box code, there
It's
isn't actually one.
Okay.
So it's when it doesn't have one.
Can they be dated without the box date?
Oh no, definitely they can be dated.
Yeah.
If you look at the band itself, so, let me just... so the band indicates that
These have been
Yeah.
enjoyed.
Oh yeah, the part box itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the band itself, they discontinued that band in
Yeah.
2006.
And you will accept
Okay.
partial boxes? They don't have to be full boxes?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would imagine full boxes are worth more than a partial
Yeah.
box.
Oh no, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you date something like this? I mean, is this something that's done at the shop, or is this where Luis's expertise comes in?
So it's definitely that part where Louise's expertise
Okay.
comes in. For us, we just have kind of just the understanding of what makes the cigars vintage, old,
yeah.
and what kind of guarantees their authenticity.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And then the rest does come down to Louise and the team of experts that
Okay.
are with him.
Because that's what's so interesting about Cuban cigars is that, there's a mystique. And, they've been, of course, producing cigars for centuries. And, certain details of box designs, label designs, isn't exactly formally documented.
No.
And
definitely
so I would imagine that this is the expertise that Luis and Dominique London, the online auctions, brings, is, that attention and that knowledge.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that type of level is very rare to find, especially when it comes to cigar auctions.
Okay.
People are just lacking the information nowadays.
Okay.
But fortunately for us, we've got a dedicated team
Yeah.
and a team that's had a lot of experience with vintage cigar
Yeah.
auctions.
And do you have problems with, counterfeit cigars coming through? Is that something that?
I think
You
with
see
any
often?
luxury product, definitely. Yes,
Uh-huh.
definitely. We always have that issue. But luckily, again, the team, they're very, very, how do you call it?
Thorough and detailed, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for us, we're just very lucky to have a lot of old stock as
Yeah.
well that allows us to kind of compare and
Mhm.
contrast. But then we also have a lot of the professionals within the industry that are able to assist and help us
Mhm.
and understand which ones are real, which
Yeah.
ones are not real.
Let's
So
take a
this
look
is
at
fantastic.
Whew, a bundle. I mean, the only thing better than a box of 25 is
Taking them out.
is a bundle of 25.
Yeah.
And the only thing better than that, of course, is a bundle of 50.
A cabinet.
Wow, look, so these are unbanded. Again, that's
Yes.
something that would date them.
Definitely.
You know, I have to admit, I'm a little bit nervous because, you know, one, you know, I'd committed, you know, to the cigars before really seeing them.
Yeah.
And I didn't have much information. There were no dates. It just was a list of cigars and the quantity. And so the way that I kind of mentally, you know, worked through this was, you know, kind of calculating an average price. I said, okay, well, you know, even if they're just ordinary cigars, you know, at that average price, like I'd be fine smoking them. And then whenever I saw them, I was really kind of blown away that these were, you know, all late 90s, full boxes, unbroken steels.
Yeah.
But again, it's, you know, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. And so, you know, I'm a little nervous in terms of one, how valuable are they? You know, are they authentic and real? Have they been stored properly?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's so many problems that can go wrong. I mean, tobacco beetles, I mean, you know, mold. And, you know, storing cigars, especially aging cigars, is so much more easily said than done.
Yeah, definitely. It is, it's a process that requires a lot of care and attention. But luckily for you, 48 hours after we've given this away to Kingsgate, Louise will come back to you with more information about your lots.
Okay.
And he'll actually provide you a nice little breakdown with all the answers to the questions that you've actually asked, whether they've been looked after well, whether they actually have any type of issues with them. And it's usually a really great moment.
That's
for
exciting.
I know.
Yeah.
And what about an estimate? I mean, at that time, will you be provided an estimate?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, he'll be able to provide you an estimate with well, how much they're going to be going for, and their potential as well. And then you could always go back to the online cigar auctions and then check if they've done it before.
Okay. Yeah. And so the database of sold lots can be actually searched.
Yeah, you can access that one.
Wow.
You can look to it.
Yeah. That has to be incredible.
Yeah.
And then as far as, you know, fees for sellers, is there a fee or a cost of submitting cigars and putting them in the auction? Is there a seller fee or is it exclusively a buyer's fee?
I believe it comes from both sides.
Okay.
It's between 15 to 18%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's paid by both the seller and the buyer.
Yep.
Okay, but there's otherwise no cost of submitting these for review and for consideration?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're not happy with the outcome, we're more than happy to just send it back to you, or you can come collect them in our stores.
So once they're evaluated extensively by Luis, then you know, I'll have all the details, more information about are they authentic, how were they kept. I'll be given an estimate. Yeah. And then at that point, I can decide, I would imagine, based off the estimate as to whether or not I'd prefer to smoke them or prefer to sell them.
I will take those.
I mean, that's a beautiful cigar. I can see you smoking that in Monte Carlo.
Yeah. Beautiful, eh? It's beauty.
But what about a reserve?
So I think the estimate that you're given by the online team is usually the reserve price.
Okay.
But ideally, they always exceed the
estimate.
Expectations. Yeah.
So generally, the estimate is a conservative valuation, and it's up from there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Well, you know, if you'll take these, I'd love to submit them for authentication and review.
Fantastic.
And you know, it'll be a harrowing 48 hours. I have to go have a nice whiskey, which I can see that there's plenty of choices in here.
It definitely is. Before you go, Kirby, we definitely need you to fill this out just to make sure that we've got a form of receipt for what you've submitted.
Great. Okay. So.
Even the pen is
I know.
vintage.
Well, yeah, I love a vintage fountain pen. You know.
Did you know that green ink you cannot copy?
Really?
Yeah. And a lot of notaries use it.
Okay, so by signing this document, you certify that you are the owner, which I am, have good title to or have been given the right to sell these, which I have, and that they are authentic to the best of my knowledge. They are. There we go.
Wow.
Exciting. This is a first for me. You know, I'm excited, a little bit nervous. And so these will go away for the enhanced authentication.
Definitely.
But then, I mean, are lots being rejected at that point?
Of course.
I mean, how often?
It definitely happens. I mean, the team themselves were definitely able to authenticate whether or not they're real. And saying no just makes sure that we maintain the highest standards when it comes to the auctions.
Yeah. If there is any doubt, we reject that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'm still nervous, so I must have a nice drink tonight, you know, to calm those nerves, a good cigar. But otherwise, I look forward to kind of seeing, you know, what Luis and the team thinks. So, you know, Dante, thank you.
Likewise, thank you.
Dominique, always lovely seeing you. Hopefully we enjoy a cigar sometime this week.
Of course.
And yeah, look forward to hearing back. Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Whenever cigars are entered into an auction, it's more than a transaction. It's a moment of anticipation, even reverence. Each box must endure a meticulous booking-in process, inspected with precision, cataloged with care, and subjected to rigorous authentication. What follows is a process veiled in secrecy, for the world of forgeries is cunning, and the auctioneers must guard their methods with absolute discretion. Even here, we cannot unveil the full extent of these examinations. What can be said is simple. Only the rarest, the purest, the most genuine treasures survive this gauntlet. And so, I can only hope that my own cigars will rise to the standard and take their rightful place among the legends of the auction. 48 hours ago, I sent my cigars in for authentication by Dominique London's team of experts. And today, after much suspense, we finally received the results. Dominique, Dante, how are you? Nice to see you again. Always a pleasure to be back, Dante, thank you. I have to say it's been a very nerve-wracking 48 hours, but I'm excited to be back and hear how these boxes fared under the scrutiny of your experts.
The evaluations team were busy at work for the last 48 hours. What they've been able to come up with, which you've received by email as well, it's so the first kind of box that you submitted, the Punch Royal Selection slide lip box, 25 cigars. It's estimated to be between 600 to 700 pounds. Okay. Yeah. Like it's a minimum estimate. Okay. Which is really good. Yeah. It's really good news. Absolutely. I mean, they always overperform. Yeah. So. I mean, if I was able to get over 1,000 pounds for that box, I'd be, really excited. Definitely. Because I can only think of all the other cigars, that I can kind of recycle that into. And then what about the El Rey de Mundos, so those Panatel Largas? The El Rey de Mundo Panatelas Largas, so it's a part box. The estimated value is around 400 to 600 pounds. Okay. However, just due to its kind of rarity and its kind of like speciality within the kind of enthusiasts that you find in the cigar industry, expect it to go even higher. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, that one's going to overperform as well. I mean, my average cost price in the entire collection was like $15 a cigar, so I mean that's pretty exciting. I mean, not only
did something good.
Is it a good investment, but it also means that there'll be even more cigars to kind of smoke, after these go through the auction. What about the Sir Winstons? Because those were interesting cigars.
A problem.
Yeah, a little bit of a problem. Okay. So I mean, with those ones, so the evaluations team, I mean, as you know, they work really hard, but also very meticulously. They were actually able to find, which they've segregated, a issue with one of the cigars. Damage or? Yes, so the damage is actually done by a cigar beetle.
Look, the hole there.
First indication is
those bastards.
Right there.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. Look at that.
Very clean, perfect.
But we didn't find it in box, so I think he left already before.
Exactly. So there's no traces. Definitely, it's one of those situations where the auction won't accept it.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, this one's set aside. But it doesn't seem like there's an infestation.
For the rest, there was none.
Yeah.
Then the only one.
So are the rest of them at least smokable, or how would you recommend? I mean, I've always been. Really
you can always try, but that's one hole. If you had several holes, then you cannot smoke it anymore. I think when you put your finger on it, maybe you can.
So maybe this one's not smokable. Right, but what about the rest of them? Do you think that?
So I mean, the rest of them could potentially be smokable. As for the auction, they would just not accept the lot anymore, just in case, because they're just trying to prevent future contaminations, anything like that kind of stuff.
And so, what would your recommendation be? I mean, this one's set aside. We'll throw this one and donate this one to the tobacco gods. Should I freeze the rest of the box? But
I think it's not necessary because the rest is not any sign of a beetle. I think maybe a couple of years ago, there was one, but we didn't find it in the box, so I think he's gone. Okay. But still, that one, you can smoke it yourself, but I wouldn't recommend to give it to somebody because if you put it in a humidor, you never know, and then...
absolutely.
Then you have the extension of the beetle family.
Well, I mean, they're hungry little critters, and they seem to have only a good taste. Yeah. Right, because they go after your best cigars. And I haven't had any issues with beetles in forever. But I think it really speaks to the difficulty and the risk of vintage cigars, right? Because not only are you having to store, over decades with the right temperature and the right humidity, but also guarding against things that will actually go and try to eat them before you have a chance to smoke them.
But if you keep them at home, you always can buy like a kind of trap that you put in your humidor, and then you see if there is
a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you see it, you can do something about it. Put them in the fridge or whatever. But if you don't know and they eat the whole collection, then
that's tragic.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the silver lining is we can still smoke these, which was the original intent behind buying the collection.
It is an invitation.
It is an invitation. I think so. I mean,
Good. We will.
I've never
smoked
this cigar.
Yeah.
So we'll have to be interesting to light that up. What are the other issues then that would have you reject an entire box?
So it just depends. In this kind of case, it required a lot of attention, especially when it comes to just viewing.
And every cigar is being inspected and looked at individually.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, it's not just the cigar itself; it's the packaging, the boxes, the point of origin. So there's a lot of factors that kind of go into it.
Yeah.
With this one in particular, it was definitely more requires an eagle eye type of situation.
But like the punch roll selection that comes in that bundle of 25, would you be pulling every cigar out individually to look at and kind of inspect? Because, I mean, there's a lot of things that could go wrong, right?
No, definitely. To some extent, yes. But if you can just have the cigars and just kind of get a general overview of it. And usually with professionals like Louise and the other people within the valuations team, they could already tell from the cigars itself, whether it's in singles or as a bundle, if there's something wrong with it.
What are the other big risks, for a buyer of vintage cigars that they would need to look out for, or in the case of Dominique London, the enhanced authentication and inspection is kind of helping guarantee. I mean, tobacco beetles, of course, is a massive risk. But what about mold? Are there other
mold? There are two kinds of mold. And the white is good. That means fermentation, which have also green mold, and then it means
bad. Yeah. So the differences, like Dominique said, plume versus actual green mold.
And would it be the same case where if you had a little bit of green mold on one cigar, the entire box would be rejected?
Yeah, because you taste it. You taste it.
So you'd go by the smell as much as like the visual.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also there are people who put their cigars not in the humidor but in the basement where the wine cellar is, and then you smell it also in the tobacco, and you can tell it's not kept well.
Yeah, and so how would you describe it? Like a mustiness? Or?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and like sour, like
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good. I smell it when I open up a box. I smell it directly. I had one time a customer who had a nice and lovely collection, but he kept it in he had pipe tobacco, and as you know, pipe tobacco has a lot of perfume and flavor, so all those boxes smelled like pipe tobacco. So
really
we cannot do anything with it, because you choose for a cigar, not for pipe tobacco. So.
And so this goes to, again, the detail with which you bring the authentication is not only protecting against counterfeits, but also validating the provenance of how it was stored.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the skin tells also a lot of things on the cigar.
Definitely.
When the skin is very wrinkly, then you know already they were not kept well.
Yeah.
So I mean, with a lot of older cigars, you tend to find that the cigar itself shrinks. So the band is going to be a bit more loose.
And that's quite normal.
Exactly. But then, for example, with counterfeit cigars, you might find the genuine box. However, the bands on the cigar are very tightly wrapped around the cigar itself, which is another indication that it could potentially be counterfeit, but with a real box.
Okay.
You have instances, for example, where the team, they have to cross-reference different types of like points of references to understand whether it's the actual cigars within the real box, because sometimes even the counterfeiters get it wrong because they don't have actual knowledge of what the cigars were like inside of the box.
Yeah, and I guess this is the big difference between Dominique London and online cigar auctions, is that you're actually taking custody of all of the cigars versus other peer-to-peer auctions where someone might be submitting photographs for verification, but nobody is actually touching and physically inspecting the cigars.
Yeah,
because there's a lot that seems like could be missed.
No, definitely. I mean, you have other auctions that happen all over the world. But with the team that we have over in Dominique London, at the moment, they just work extensively to just guarantee all of the lots that we put into the auction are of legitimate type of origin.
But most importantly, they're actually touching and, as you said, even smelling the cigars as a part, of that verification process.
Yeah.
The smell is it's very important.
Yeah. Smell, the visual, touch, feel.
Great job.
Yeah.
You know, to sit there all day and get to caress and, you know, open boxes and, you know, smell cigars. Well, great. Well, what's next then? So, you know, I've received this email, and so
You must reply
okay,
to say,
yeah, that this is acceptable.
yeah.
And then you'll keep the cigars until the auction,
Exactly.
right? And then I
In
guess
good condition.
in good condition.
Yeah,
very
of
important.
course.
And it's a live auction, so we can sit there and you know,
Smoke a
watch
cigar.
the excitement, you know, as these cigars go under the hammer. And then after that, I mean, again, you have all the cigars, and then I guess part of the service
We store them in a
London
good condition.
is storing them.
Yeah.
Of course, the authentication. But then, are you also responsible, or will you take care of then shipping these to whoever it is the
Definitely.
lucky seller?
Yeah, we're used to it.
Yeah.
So.
It's going to be done on an individual basis. But yeah, overall, everyone within the team, they just manage the logistics.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. So I guess you guys are fast at work, you know, working through all these lots. And that, you know, 2 days ago, you were saying you have between 500 or 600 lots per auction. That's
It's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of work.
Yeah, it is.
But
Yeah,
it's better
5
to do
times
it good and to have the nice cigars without any things on it than to go fast and then afterwards have a bad name. Huh?
Yeah. Well, that is the value of an auction house. I mean, just
Yeah.
like with Christie's or Sotheby's, you know, with art and wine.
To be sure.
Is, you know, what you're paying for in the buyer or seller's premium is the expertise and certainty and really safety that you know that whatever it is that you're purchasing is authentic and properly maintained.
That's it. Yeah.
For sure.
Well, this is exciting. So how long until we see, you know, the full lot? Because that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks before the auction, you'll receive the brochure, which also includes the auction lots.
Okay.
And yeah, that's when they actually also go live. So everyone's kind of ready, prepared to kind of view what they want to get.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'd be a good time for you to also have a look at what's available.
Can make
there.
your wish
Yeah.
list.
Well, I'm a registered seller, and you know, I have to register as a buyer as well, and see what's there, because you know, this is one of the things I love is that pursuit of those collectible cigars. And I think every connoisseur, every smoker, you know, there's always that dream cigar that they've always, you know, dreamt of smoking but never had the opportunity. And this is what's fun about auctions, is kind of coming across those rare unicorns.
You definitely will.
Well, this is exciting to kind of see this process come together, and you know, this is my first auction, so I can't wait to see, you know, what other cigars these are listed alongside of.
But the most nice part of it is when the catalog comes out and you see all the products, and then the favorite part of this all is in fact the 10 last seconds when the biddings are going up, and then you see extending each time when somebody is bidding, and then you see what nice products you have in there, and that's that's all about auction.
Yeah, I guess that is, you know, part of the thrill is seeing the catalog for the first time, because I mean, in the aged, rare, and vintage, I mean, some of these cigars might not come up for years or decades.
Real pearls come up. Huh?
Yeah, you do find some treasures in there, definitely.
And so that catalog is that, whenever it's released, is that first kind of glimpse.
Yeah, exciting moments. Huh?
Yeah, and then when the auction begins, I mean, you have those 2 weeks of just pure anticipation on who's going to bid on what, who's going to try and go.
You see already what's happening. Huh?
Talking to your friends and saying, "Don't bid on this."
100%. 100%.
It's nice to see that, and the people are eager to. Yeah.
Dante, thank you so much.
Good to see you again.
Dominique, always a pleasure.
You
know, if they really go for higher than expectation, we celebrate Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
That'll be the place.
That's a good idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
To see my cigars pass through the booking and authentication process has been truly nerve-wracking. The scrutiny each box receives is extraordinary. But what impressed me the most was the sheer professionalism of the Dominique London team. Every step carried out with precision, discretion, and a reverence for these sacred cigars that is second to none. Every box is treated not merely as a product, but as a piece of history, examined and respected in equal measure. There's always a tension, though, knowing that only the very best will survive this process, yet also a profound pride in entrusting them to such capable hands. And now, with this stage complete, the true excitement begins, the auction itself. The moment where rare cigars surface, treasures find new custodians, and the drama of the sale unfolds. Next time, Dominique and I go deeper into the extraordinary world of vintage and rare cigars as we take a closer look at some of the most exciting lots entering the upcoming auction, including truly exceptional cigars that almost never see the light of day. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one.